Hello everyone, welcome to my virtual presentation for the 2020 Collective Intelligence Conference. I am Payam Aminpour and I am the presenter of the work done by an interdisciplinary team of researchers from multiple institutes. Today, we are presenting our work about harnessing the collective intelligence of natural resources users for conservation, and I will be giving a report of two original research studies. Okay, let's get started with a little bit of background on the wisdom of the crowd and swarm intelligence. About 100 years ago, Francis Galton, the famous mathematician, coined the term the wisdom of the crowds after he observed a crowd of 800 individuals, and these are farmers, butchers, and lay people, guessing the weight of an ox. And even though the individual estimates were somehow inaccurate with large errors, he realized that the average estimate from 800 people was surprisingly close to the exact weight or the true weight of the animal with less than 1% error. And today, this is what we call the wisdom of the crowd effect, one approach to harness the collective intelligence of independent individuals who do not socially interact, but rather independently provide their opinions that can merge into an intelligent solution. There is also another form of collective intelligence, which is called swarm intelligence, and this is common among socially interacting groups. Swarm intelligence emerges from the ability of a network of individuals to work together to accomplish complex tasks. Examples from the nature include swarming behavior among social species like ant colonies foraging for food, or flock of birds navigating between distances, and a school of fish escaping from predators. Similarly, once connected into real-time systems with synchronous social interactions among different individuals, humans can amplify their group intelligence by forming human swarms, which can outperform the vast majority of individuals when solving problems and making decisions. Even better, by leveraging the power of emerging online technologies, we should be able to more efficiently and more conveniently harness humans' collective intelligence to address our today's complex problems. Technologies like online surveys and swarming platforms like Swarm AI, developed by Unanimous AI company, helps us more easily and more conveniently and more frequently aggregate the knowledge, wisdom, and insights of diverse groups of people distributed all around the world into a single intelligent solution to our problems. Problems that are more important than guessing the weight of the ox or uh, estimating the number of jelly beans in a jar. Can we use the collective intelligence power to estimate the number of trees in deep forests or the number of wild animals in undiscovered areas, or even the population of fish underwater? We are cutting trees and killing animals and harvesting oceans. And one of the most important problems human societies are facing today is the over-exploitation of these natural resources. Human populations are growing fast and we consume more and more natural resources. However, in many places all around the globe, people consume natural resources intensively, degrade ecosystems and natural habitats, and therefore cross planetary boundaries. And unfortunately, we have no information and no idea about the status of natural resources, nor do we have proper monitoring systems and data collection mechanisms to track their conditions. Here we explore how emerging internet technologies, online technologies like surveys and swarm platforms can be used to harness resource users' collective intelligence to address these problems. We looked at fisheries examples in our work as our case studies. This is really important because global fish stocks are becoming overfished, with some alarming projections indicating that more and more fisheries are becoming completely collapsed and overfished by mid-century. Using two recreational fisheries, we investigate how the collective intelligence of fishing communities, local fishing communities, can be harnessed to provide valuable information in support of sustainable resource management. In fishery systems, there are three main components for which we need ample information, ample data to conduct sustainable resource management. First, information about fish abundance and population and fish demographics. Second, information about humans and their fishing pressures. And third, information about human-fish interdependencies or relationships. In these studies, we used online surveys and online swarming technologies for leveraging the wisdom of the crowd effect and swarm intelligence to estimate fish abundance, predict human pressures on fish resources, and model complex human-fish interdependencies. The first case study is striped bass recreational fisheries in Massachusetts. The study is accepted for publication in Frontiers in Ecology and the Environment, and in this case, we focused on both humans and fish dimensions of this system. We reached out to three of the largest recreational clubs for striped bass fishing in Massachusetts, and used an online survey to collect information from a crowd of recreational fishermen or anglers. We asked the crowd to estimate striped bass population distribution by size classes and estimate the number of recreational fishers in Massachusetts to approximate fishing pressures, and also estimate the most frequently and least frequently harvested fish size. Respondents independently participated in our survey and provided their individual independent estimates. To aggregate the responses and test the wisdom of the crowd effect, individual responses were combined using the mean for numeric items and the majority for multiple choice items. Also, individuals participated in an online swarming platform, swarming experiment. Swarm is an online tool that allows users to interact in real time to collectively answer a set of questions, a series of questions. The platform is synchronous or synchronously collect the responses, meaning that users can explore decision space together at the same time, and the software structures the social interactions among different individuals. As you see in these videos, in our experiment, participants were able to answer questions by collectively moving a graphical puck to select a specific response from among multiple choices, and a small graphical magnets on the screen pulling the puck towards a specific choice shows individuals' intent to select one answer. We asked the swarm to estimate the number of recreational fishers in Massachusetts to approximate fishing pressures and estimate the most frequently and least frequently harvested fish size in 2016 total recreational catches. This figure shows the crowd average estimates versus the empirical data about percentage of fish population by size classes. For almost all size classes, crowd's estimate, which is the mean of individual estimates, perfectly match the empirical data collected by National Oceanic and atmospheric administration empirical data, except for one size class, which is the 30 to 34 inches. This figure also compares the crowds and swarms estimates of the number of licensed recreational fishermen in Massachusetts. As you can see, the crowd provided better estimate compared to the swarm of the socially interacting individuals. And the crowd estimate is only 5% off, while the swarm estimate is about 40% off. Still, both approaches, both collective intelligence approaches, outperform a vast majority of individuals. And these results support findings that social influence and social interactions can undermine collective accuracy in simple estimation tasks. In addition, both swarm and crowd experiments provided accurate estimates of the size for most and least frequently harvested fish. Yet again, supporting the idea that by harnessing the collective intelligence of local fishing communities, we would be able to provide useful information about fisheries and fish resources that we would otherwise achieve by costly investments in scientific assessments, massive data collection, and extensive monitoring systems. In the second case study, we looked at recreational pike fisheries in Germany. This study is already published in Nature Sustainability, and here I provide a very brief summary of the paper. In this case, we focused on human-fish relationships, interdependencies. We reached out to recreational fishing clubs in Germany and asked local fishermen, local anglers, to participate in our study. The task for the participants was to draw a concept map showing the cause and effect relationships between social and environmental components important to model human-fish interdependencies. Each individual had to draw causal connections between a list of concepts and specify a numeric weight between -1 and +1 to show the magnitude and sign of the causal relationships between concepts. For example, one might have seen a strong negative relationship between fishing pressure and pike population. So, for example, put -0.85 as the magnitude of the relationship. These weighted directed graphs are called fuzzy cognitive maps and are used to represent individuals' mental models about human-fish relationships or interdependence. Importantly, these cognitive maps or fuzzy cognitive maps from a group of individuals can be mathematically aggregated using the average value of their edge weights or the magnitude of their relationships to represent the collective knowledge of the group about causal relationships. We collected about 250 individual maps from 3 types of stakeholders: recreational anglers, recreational club managers, and recreational fisheries managers. We first aggregated the maps by stakeholder types to build collective maps of homogeneous groups. Then we aggregated the maps across stakeholder types to build the crowd map, including all diverse stakeholder types. By doing this, we could also explore the impact of diversity or cognitive diversity on group performance while aggregating cognitive maps. To measure the performance or the accuracy, we compared the network structure of the aggregated maps with the structure of a reference map generated by a group of fisheries scientists and freshwater ecologists who were involved in sustainable management of pike stocks in Germany. This figure shows the percentage of matched causal relationships between maps. The reference map, the black graph in the right side, was generated by a group of scientific experts. Among all aggregated maps, the crowd model, the yellow graph in the bottom, including all stakeholder types with diverse knowledge, demonstrated the highest degree of matched causal patterns with reference map. About 70% of the causal relationships were matched between the crowd model and the reference map, showing the perfect performance of the crowd in modeling causal relationships between human and fish components. Another important structural characteristics which we looked at to evaluate the performance of the aggregated maps was the centrality of the important concepts. Centrality of a concept in a cognitive map shows the relative importance of the concept using the degree to which the concept is connected to other nodes. We use the centrality of 6 important fishery management concepts to compare the aggregated maps with the reference map. And this figure shows that among all aggregated maps, the crowd map, the yellow profile, demonstrated highest agreement and yet perfect similarity to the reference model, the dark gray profile, regarding the centrality of 6 management concepts. So these results together support the idea about harnessing local people, local users, collective intelligence to get valuable information about complex human-fish interdependencies. Once again, think about a problem more important than estimating the number of jelly beans in a jar. Are we able to harness the local people's collective intelligence and apply these approaches to a broader domain of social and environmental problems? It is very encouraging that scientific information about natural resources and their status and the human pressures on them and the interrelationships between humans and natural resources can be generated from a local community of lay people with not necessarily having academic expertise or knowledge about these systems. So these CI solutions can be used for better managing ecosystems across many different natural resources and conservation concepts, especially in data poor situations and data scale conditions where sustainability is highly challenged. Here is a list of references for your review, and I would be happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you.